Hi, Queens. How are you? Hi, King. How are you? Welcome to the Queen Show, where your hosts, Queen Sheila and Queen Clayleen, are your co hosts. I got a special announcement about that. We'll talk about that towards the end of the show, okay? Something big is happening to this channel, guys. And I just want to say thank you for joining me on my channel tonight. Share the link out. Tell somebody to get on right now. Right now. Get on right now, guys. We are covering the Kevin Sims. I'm sorry, the Kevin Smith case today. We're talking about the injustice that's been going on in Harris County Jail in Texas. We're going to be covering more than just his case, but more cases that have presented itself within the month of January. In fact, there's been four cases against Harris County Jail within the month of January, so much so that the FBI has came to investigate. There has been class action suits brought against this particular county jail. They call it the jail of death, the house of death. And I was so inspired by Eating with Philly Phil this morning. She covered this show, and I asked permission to cover her content, and she was so gracious and she was so kind to let me cover her content, her story. We just want to shine a light on this particular story, talking about the inhumane treatment of inmates there. And I'm also going to show you inside the jail, the restroom areas and how deplorable it was. We're going to share that because we want justice for our people, right? Any type of injustice is unacceptable, and so we're going to be shedding a light on this story today. But before we get into it, guys, you know that I have to pause for the cause, and the cause is support. Check this out. Check it out.
Our entrepreneur spotlight is shining on the creator of My Lips Cosmetics. My Lips Cosmetics is like liquid gold. The Affinity Collection is a liquid matte lipstick for all day wear. My cosmetic product line includes My Glitter, luxury lip gloss, My Brows, and an arsenal of cosmetic product. Your lips will not only look absolutely perfect, they will feel soft and weightless. No touch-up needed, ladies. Check it out. Meet Alexis Duncan, creator of Lexi Lou, a line of handbags that services the needs of plus-size individuals across the country. She has styles and patterns and fits to quench your handbag thirst. Check it out.
All right, guys, Lexi Lou and My Lips Cosmetics go out and support these young, black, beautiful queens that are setting a trend for successful women across the country. Check them out, Lexi Lou products and My Lips Cosmetics. Check them out. You can go back on the replay to get their information, contact information, in case you want to reach out to them. Guys, I am going to play the press conference to the class action suit that's being brought against the Harris County Jail in Texas. We're going to watch that together. It's quite lengthy. So listen, tell a friend to go out and get on board and get on this channel and share so that we can be a part of the justice that is so greatly needed in Texas. We're just going to cover a few particulars about the case, and then we're going to go right into the video footage, and then I'm going to come on the back end and we're going to discuss, because this is deplorable. No man, no woman should have to live like this. Yeah, they're criminals. Yeah, they made mistakes. But at the end of the day, they need to be in humane situations. All of us have made mistakes in our lives. All of us have had the chance to rehabilitate ourselves. All of us have accepted or have forgiven to somebody. Yeah, they are criminals, but guess what? They're people too. Some of them are just brought in under petty crimes and have been fighting for their life. And some of them didn't even make it out. One of the head Democratic caucus there in Texas said you can check in, but you can't check out of Harris County. And I think that should be rectified. And to my understanding, they are doing just that. They are rectifying. So let's get into the content. You're going to be seeing me look down because I want to make sure that my information is accurate. So they did an investigation on four inmates deaths, not injuries, but deaths, counted at Harris County Jail in the month of January alone. One death is enough. And it was so scandalous that the family members wasn't even notified. Like they found out on social media, which I feel is just disgusting. Nobody, no family should have to go through anything like that. We still have a ways to go in this country here. When it comes to just humane treatment, racism, and the handling of minorities in our correction facility. Okay, so let's just dive in. It says Houston, Texas, a fourth inmate has died inside the Harris County Jail this month on Tuesday. Investigations confirmed with the family of Keith Smith. He died within custody of the jail. He was 23 years old. He was facing charges that was filed in July of 2023. 2022. However, his mom, Tracy Woodson Smith, said the case continued to get reset. Smith was due back in court later this week for a bond hearing. Woodson Smith said she believed the charge would have eventually been dropped. Smith had a 2-year-old daughter, and in the press conference that we're going to show, you will see his daughter. In a statement on Tuesday, the Harris County Sheriff's Office says Smith suffered an apparent medical emergency while in jail. They have not been specific to my understanding, my research. They have not been specific to what this medical emergency was. It says he was taken to the jail clinic where he was seen by Harris Health medical staff at approximately 10:40 a.m. He was taken to the hospital by ambulance. It was pronounced deceased at the hospital. But keep in mind, the mother is saying that he was deceased before he even left the jail, in his cell, before he even got in the ambulance. He was already deceased, allegedly. So he was pronounced dead at 11:25 a.m. According to the statement, Smith had no obvious physical injuries. Okay, Woodson Smith said her son had no previous medical conditions. This is a quote from his mother. I need to see my baby to see if he had any marks on him. She told investigators. People look at it like he's just an inmate, but at the end of the day, everyone is human. He is a number to you, but that is my baby. You will see the whole heartfelt conference of his mother and her attorney and other victims of this correctional facility. Woodson Smith said she did not learn about Smith's death from the jail. No one called her after the death immediately. She didn't learn from his death from the jail. Okay. She learned it from another inmate who wanted to make sure she knew what was happening inside the jail. That inmate told his mom, she translated to me, that Kevin looked like he was already dead before he left the county jail. State law requires that all jail deaths be investigated by outside agencies. In this case, the Houston Police Department is conducting the death investigation. Okay, so in a press conference, you will see that they want the attorney is demanding an outside agency come and investigate what's going on in Harris County jail, and particularly this case, so they will not be biased. And I'm going to stop for 1 second and talk about the culture. Now, I had mentioned this, I believe, in another video about the culture of our authority systems across the country, especially in rural areas, especially in suburban areas. And, hey, in inner cities, it's everywhere. whatever the culture of that particular district or precinct, that is the mentality of the officers that are on the streets enforcing the law. Specifically, in that case that I covered, where the young man passed away, where he was bludgeoningly beaten by 5 African American police officers. It's the culture. Nobody stopped it. Nobody said, "Hey, this is excessive." Nobody said the humanity had just left because of what's been driven into these officers that feel entitled and they feel like they can carry out authority without any regards of our law, without any regards of integrity, without any regards of rationality. This is what's happening in the United States. No sense of accountability, just feeling like, oh, I can get away with it because of what my badge, this is ridiculous, the culture. And I feel like they need to do a little bit more vetting for police officers and law enforcers. We need to know, just like they do for school teachers, we got to do drug tests, we got to do background checks, we got to do fingerprints, because they want to know who's teaching our children. Well, who's enforcing our laws? You need to be doing all of that. They need to do an extensive vetting as if they were going to be the president of the United States, as if they was going to be FBI. We need to do some serious background checks and your family, your lifestyle, how you raised. Because if you was raised to hate all black people, or in a predominantly white neighborhood that has a history of racism, I'm sorry. And everybody coming from the same place, working at the same district, there is a culture that's being set in place. But within the working class, within our correctional systems, they set a culture in those facilities. What the guards is the law. They set a culture, and it should not be. And so we need to correct that. The article goes on and says that the Sheriff's Office Internal Affairs Division is also investigating to determine whether an applicable policy and procedure will follow, which is standard following the death of an inmate. HCSO said in his statement, the man's cause of death will be determined by an autopsy conducted by Harris County Institute of Forensic Sciences. No, I'm going to need you to bring in some outside forces because there's too many moving parts to the story. Smith is the nephew of another inmate, Gary Wayne Smith, who died a few weeks ago. The jail says 59-year-old Smith, who was booked on December 6, 2022, was in jail on a parole violation and had numerous medical conditions. The uncle and the nephew died in the same jail. They call this place the House of Death, and we're going to get into the complaints, and we're going to get into all of the issues that this particular county has. Nobody wants to go there, and it's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. On January 10th, 2023, while housed in a single cell in the infirmary, a medication nurse was unable to wake Smith. Do you understand? He was there in the facility, dead. I don't care what the report says. She said he was unable to wake Smith. Medical staff responded and started CPR and transported Smith to the clinic, according to the county. The jail is currently under scrutiny by the state for failing to comply with at least 2 jail standards, including not booking inmates within 48 hours, not providing an inmate with life-saving medication. This is what's going on in Texas in 2023. They need to shut it down. I hope, and I know that the majority Democratic leader there had a meeting with the sheriff there, and hopefully things got a dialogue was positive, and it was a good outcome. Sorry, I got a text. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Okay. So my brother sent me some information. which is the Eighth Amendment, and we all know it, right? Excessive bail should not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel and unusual punishment inflicted. The Eighth Amendment, and it clearly was not implemented in this case. They disregarded the Eighth Amendment clearly. Okay, it was the highest. And we talking about Harris County jail in Texas. It was the highest number of annual inmates death in a decade. The jail's population was also the highest it has been in a decade, with more than 10,000 inmates. 10,000 inmates, including even more individuals who have been charged with crimes but are housed in a facility in Louisiana and West Texas. If the pace of inmates' death this year continues, the jail is on track to exceed the number of deaths it has had in the last year. In addition to Kevin Smith and his uncle Gary Smith, Jacoby Pillow, 31, and Jadeep Singh Baines, 41, also died while in Harris County Jail in the custody this in January alone of 2023. Baines was booked into jail on December the 3rd, 2023, on a charge and died January 11, 2023. I'm sorry, December the 3rd, 2022. He died on January 11, 2023. He had a history of numerous medical problems. We all got medical problems. We all got some issues going on. But see, there is a hospital on site. There should be life-saving medicine there. There should be skilled nurses and doctors there. It's a hospital there to treat that, right? He had a history of numerous medical problems when he was booked into jail. According to a custodial death report, the county submitted the Texas Attorney General last week. Now, there was a gash on Kevin Smith's head. No one said about any medical personnel treating the gash on his head. He was left in solitary confinement. 2 shifts have passed. The 3rd shift found him dead. Okay, what happened between the 2 shifts? Nobody checked on him. His mother, I will say his mother was very cool and calm and collective. And because she knows she got to take care of business. She was not overly emotional. She shared the facts, and you guys will see it today. The report says he was transported to the local hospital January 4th for altered mental status and was intubed 5 days later. We're gonna go on with his story. Before we finish this article, I'm gonna go and take another break, and we're gonna have a pause for the cause and the cause of support, and then after that, we're gonna go into the press conference and break this all the way down. Okay, check this out. Check it out.
I Believe is a lifestyle brand for anyone who believes in something greater than themselves. The time is now to simply believe. Amazon author Claudia Woods has created the most savory visual sensory book for the soul. Cornbread for the Soul. Check it out.
Okay, guys, so we're back. Support my book is on Amazon. Support Dennis Gregory. I got on his shirt today. I believe in something greater than yourself, and we know that is the Lord. Check out Dennis Gregory on Facebook, social media. He also has a podcast. Our Opinion is on YouTube and on all type of social media platforms. Check him out, Dennis Gregory, and tell him that C Woods sent you over there. So in this particular case, in Mr. Pillow's case, they're saying that he was in an altered state of mind when he got to the hospital. He eventually was pronounced dead. It says he was arrested July 1st on a misdemeanor trespassing charge. Records show that he was given $100 bond. He was released when reportedly assaulted a detention officer, resulting in an additional charge that was accepted by the Harris County District Attorney's Office. Jail staff used force to restrain Pillow to regain control, according to a release from the sheriff's office. He was evaluated and cleared to return to his cell. Later, a jail employee was making rounds when they saw Pillow unresponsive in his cell. Okay, so we go from him being restrained and put in his cell to becoming unresponsible. They said that they used force. They, more than one. So how bad? How deep was this force? How much of restraint did you use? And are you properly? Have you been trained properly? Do you need a refresher? Because everybody that seemed to go up in there having some type of injury or dying. The statistics is staggering for this particular county jail, and I am just really I'm trying to wrap my mind around this story. It says they couldn't revive him. They called for an ambulance. He was taken to a nearby hospital where he was pronounced dead 9:12 a.m. This is staggering. This is staggering. This is what's going on in Texas in 2023. Okay, so the FBI has now gotten involved. And we know historically when the FBI gets involved, they tend to take over the investigation. They tend to take over the evidence and forensics portion of the case. They take over. And at this point, I'm glad because they need an outside agency doing some research for this case. I hate that this happened to this brother and to these brothers. This is just crazy. This is crazy. And guys, I am understand. I I put the wrong. I put the wrong thumbnail on this story. You guys are gonna see traditional men and their independent women. That story is for Monday. Okay. So I put the wrong thumbnail for this particular show, but we're gonna correct it. We will correct it so you guys will see it. Yeah. This is crazy. This is crazy. So we'll fix that. We'll fix that. So no fear. We will fix that. Sorry. And so the FBI has now gotten involved. And to my understanding, Harris County Jail System, they have gathered that. I want you to hold on to I just really want you to hold on. So they saying the fourth inmate died within January. But after the FBI got in there and did discussions and then did after they gathered the information from the guards in the hospitals and kind of correlated everything, they came to the number of 32. 32 inmates have died at Harris County Jail. 32. So now Attorney Ben Crump is involved in this case. Okay, the FBI has opened an investigation into allegations for federal rights violations. So now it's become federal. Anybody that's joining the show, I know it says relationships, talking about relationships for the show. Hey, Shawanda, I said nothing but love your way, because guess what, Queen, you deserve it. I know it says relationships, but we're not. That's the wrong thumbnail. We are talking about the Kevin Sims trial and the other inmates trial at Harris County Jail. And I'm going to change the thumbnail after the show. So please forgive me, Shawanda. I know I made a mistake. I'm looking down and I'm like, wait a minute. I got the wrong thumbnail for the show. So I'm sorry about that, Shawanda, okay? But hold on, okay? Hold on, stay with me, rock with me for a minute. So now 32 inmates have died at Harris County Jail in Texas. So of course the hey brother, my brother is on here. Welcome. This is my biological brother. I love you so much, brother. Thank you for showing up. So now Ben Crumps is involved, of course. You know there's going to be a class action suit, and there is a class action suit actually going on right now. It's deplorable. It is utterly deplorable, and I am just sickened by it. I'm just sickened by it. I really am. And this is what's going on in 2023. Okay. What I want to say is this. Where is your accountability? Where's your accountability? Oh, thank you, Shawanda. Where's your accountability? Are we just locking people up, and because they are locked up, you feel like you can just treat them like dirty dogs because they're criminals? I don't know. I am just sickened by it. Okay, so the FBI is involved. All right, 32 deaths. Okay, following the two inmates at the Harris, following the deaths of the two inmates at the Harris County Jail in Texas, after a request by the sheriff's office, these investigations will be fair, thorough, and impartial. That was a quote, and will proceed independently of any state investigations involving incidents at jail to preserve the integrity and capabilities of the investigation. No deaths of ongoing process will be publicly shared, FBI Houston said in a statement Monday. Harris County Sheriff E.D. Gonzalez, and you're going to hear his name in the press conference that I'm going to show. You're going to hear his name over and over again, Gonzalez. I started to show his picture, but I said, no, I ain't going to do that. Gonzalez had reached out to FBI to investigate the death of Jaquez Simmons, who died February 2021, and Jacoby Pillow, who died in 2023, while they were in the custody of the Harris County Jail. Last week, I reached out to James Smith, special agent in charge of FBI Houston field officer, to have an agent review the circumstances surrounding the two men's death in our jail, because I want the community to fully trust our commitment to transparency and full accountability. Now, I don't believe that, because he knows what's going on in his jail. After 32 deaths, come on now. And you just now calling the FBI in 32 deaths? No, you feel the heat, and now you're trying to be transparent. That's what's going on. Gonzalez said in the statement, I look forward to learning the FBI findings, because we must all know the full truth if we are to improve our operations and make the jail safe as possible for everyone entrusted into our care. You already know what's going on. You know what's going on inside your jail. The prisoners know, and the officers know. The nurses know. That's why that nurse stood by his side until they got him an ambulance to leave that place. The announcement also came after Houston's press conference with the attorney Ben Crump, Paul Ginke, on Monday afternoon, requesting the Department of Justice to open an investigation. It is appalling, a quote, that you have 32 detainees die in Harris County Jail in 14 months period. 14 months, 32 people. 14 months, 32 people. People who are joining the live, I got the wrong thumbnail on there. That thumbnail that you see about relationships, that's for Wednesday show. This show, we're talking about Kevin Sims and the 32 deaths in Harris County jail in Texas. I'm going to change the thumbnail after the show, guys. Okay? Sorry about that, but this is a story that needs to be covered. Okay? 32 detainees died in Harris County Jail in a 14-month period. Crump said during the press conference, I mean, nobody would really believe it unless you have these bodies that showed that this really happened. According to county records, 21 inmates died in custody in 2021, and according to attorney last year, 28 inmates lost their lives in Harris County Jail. This is burning me up. This is really burning me up. The press release continued that the total of the numbers of deaths in 2023 is at least 4. People who are being arrested for misdemeanors are losing their life. So now I'm just trying to shed a light. So we're going to go ahead and show the press conference of the families that are filing the case against Harris County Jail, and you're going to hear you're going to hear the anger in their voice. You're going to hear the cry of the community. And you're going to hear from the two other inmates that were also in that particular jail. Okay, all right, guys. And then after the press conference, we will come back.
As we've been seeing here lately, that's being charged with violating the human and civil rights of inmates in this jail. Just because a man is charged with a crime does not mean he's guilty of that crime. And just because a man is charged with a crime does not mean that he no longer has human and civil rights and constitutional protections. The Harris County Jail has become the house of death in Houston, Texas. This is the biggest funeral home, the biggest morgue in Harris County is the Harris County Jail. It is sad to learn that this place is so severely understaffed. This place is extremely overworking workers and deputies who are so frustrated with stress to where you don't have the appropriate funds to hire the appropriate people to work in facilities like this. You're picking and choosing from the bottom of the barrel because you don't have the money to hire qualified people that should be working in jails like this with some sense of humanity. A lot of these brothers are being beaten, being stomped, being choked, being slammed, necks broken, backs broken, arms broken, internal bleeding, organs being punctured from beatings at the hands of deputies. This is a fact. Enough is enough. Too many young men are dying in this jail, and we demand immediate changes right now to what is taking place in this jail. This place is the house of death. The Harris County Jail is the house of death, whether we like it or not. And those in this jail, some of them are being stuck in this jail because the courts are moving so slow. The courts are just resetting and resetting and resetting and resetting, leaving them to wallow and live in squalor. Some in this jail have even sent pictures anonymously that the conditions are less than a third world country. This is a shame what's taking place in this jail, and we demand immediate change. If the FBI needs to step in, the Department of Justice to step in and take over this jail, well then what are you waiting on? Because if it was the same number of young white men dying in this jail like this young black men, they would have came in a long time ago and did something about this. This mother's son just passed in this jail, and she was speaking about the crazy circumstances of how she learned about her son's death. Just to show you the blatant level of insensitivity when it comes to notifying families and loved ones of what's happening with their loved ones in this jail. Go ahead and state your son's name again.
My son is Kevin Leon Smith Jr. I got an inside call from social media stating that my son passed away. They seen him laying in the bunk. His pants was urine. They was already wet. When they picked him up on the stretcher, they made like they was doing CPR, which was not true. When I called, no one reached out to me. Finally, a chaplain called me close to 1 o'clock. Y'all stated my son was transported to Bentorb Hospital. He was out Harris County system at 9:12 a.m. How did y'all even know he was dead at 9:12 a.m.? If you go on your records and look now, it's stating my son is still active in Harris County on the 5th floor. Not he's deceased. He had court February the 3rd, which he was coming home that Friday. Y'all reset it and said he'll be reset to next February the 24th. How you reset a deceased body? That's what I'm not understanding. Then when I call up here, I have to call up here and let them know my son dead in the custody of them. He wasn't at home, he was in their custody. Whether they overstaffed, understaffed, and all that, I know for a fact you have 2 guards that watches that floor at night. Kevin wasn't in the 1 or 2 cell. He was housed in the big cell where it was opening. Nobody seen nothing, supposedly, but I have some that's willing to talk, but I don't want to put them children in danger for their parents to get the same call saying that they left. They scared to say something because the guard, as they said, whooping their ass. But this one right here, Kevin Leon Smith Jr., Zydeco Kevo gonna shake the world. This body right here is not gonna stop till we get justice. I want everybody that supposedly did CPR, everybody that supposedly transported them, the staff that was working that night, the ones that watched the switchboard. I want camera footages full. If I got to pay and give my last dime, this death right here would not go unsolved. Then y'all have the nerves to call me and tell me I can come pick up his property, a cell phone, and clothes that when y'all locked my son up, July the 1st, y'all got a newspaper article that was just printed out Wednesday stating he's from Katy. He's not. Stating that he was 24 years old on a $10,000 bond. Not. Stating that y'all just served my house July the 26th.
July 26th.
He was in y'all custody. Who did y'all serve papers to?
Who did they serve?
And it's sad. It's truly sad. I'm just holding together. Then when I call up here to get information,
Tell us we not the parent. He'll say he have no next of kin.
and I know
he has no next of kin, but we is his mother and father.
and I'm
saying he had no next of kin. They wouldn't give us no information. None.
And
until the lawyer called.
I don't know if he a sergeant or deputy. Bailey was the phone call. When I called, I spoke with that one. He told me my son was moved to TDC. You cannot move a body to TDC if you haven't got charged of a crime. How did you move him to TDC? They moved my son to Guards Darby unit, which he was happy, even though he was locked up. Mama, we eating good. They clean up here. I was able to see my son.
He let them talk to him, had a pad, they could talk, we could see
my
everything.
son gets shipped. He gets shipped back to Harris County custody, and I find out he dead. Y'all not even giving these people hygiene stuff. Even when I was doing commissary, y'all wasn't even giving him his package. Saying it wasn't even, it even went through.
Wasn't getting nothing. He called and said, Pop, I ain't get it. Yeah, it's there. We sent it. But he kept saying he ain't get it. He wasn't getting nothing.
This one right here is it's hard. And the only thing y'all look at is, oh, look what he charged with, this and that. Yeah, but y'all ain't prove him guilty. A guilty person wasn't coming home. I don't give a damn if he sat out here and shot 9 people. At the end of the day, they don't give nobody no right to take nobody. You got serial killers and everybody up out here still, y'all letting them out on $2 bonds. They come out and do the same thing. Really? Y'all don't have the decency to call and tell a parent, a family, nothing that's going on with their loved ones in here.
Even my brother.
He just a number. I lost my brother-in-law 3 weeks prior to that.
Gary Wayne Smith is my big brother.
The 3rd victim that got
the 3rd victim here. Said he died of a seizure. He don't have seizures. He ain't have seizures.
Y'all still don't have a motive how Kevin died up in here. Y'all just told me it was emergency medical. What emergency medical? I'm his mother and I ain't never known he had emergency medical.
Never.
Tracy Lee Woodson -Smith. TRACY LEE WOOD SON -SMITH.
It's hard to pick up multiple voices.
Right, sorry.
Can you tell us your name first, please?
How y'all doing? My name is Kevin Smith, Sr. Kevin Jr. was my son. Zydeco Kevo. The spelling of my name is KEVIN LEONSMITH, Senior. All I'm saying is, it's too much going on. We just talked to my son the night before. She called me to say, I wasn't gonna tell you. She say, baby, but he be home Friday. She was so excited. He was excited. He told her, he say, Mama, I gotta get off the phone with y'all because I need to call everybody and let them know that party is going down. 2 things I always told my son, I never want to see him. jail or locked up. Locked up or dead. My son in both places. He in both places, man. Somebody needs to come. Something got to come, man. He just got to come on with it. He got to come with it, man. For real, they got to come with this one.
We know.
Then my brother, on top of that, my brother, 2.5 weeks before that, my brother passed. Then my son was the last person to see my brother because he called us and say, "Pop, I just saw Uncle Gary pass by." He never made it back to the cell. Never made it back.
In the infirmary.
In the infirmary, he dead.
Before I say something else, let Dr. Matthews speak.
All right, I'm Dr. Candace Matthews. I'm in the capacity of the vice chair for the Texas Coalition of Black Democrats statewide. Ed Gonzalez is one of our candidates that we endorse, and we also will hold him accountable to ensure that this atrocity is being handled correctly. Because according to these documents, these are federal laws that has been broken here in Harris County Jail. The first one falls under the 8th Amendment. Excessive bail should not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel or unusual punishment inflicted. Now, I'm going to go directly to the Government Code, Title 4, Executive Branch, Subtitle G, Corrections, Chapter 501, Inmate Welfare, Chapter A, General Welfare Provisions, which is Section 501.055, Report of Inmate Death. Part C, if an inmate dies as described in subsection B1, the department or an authorized official of the department shall immediately attempt to notify the next of kin of the inmate that the inmate has died. State the time of death of the inmate and inform the next of kin that unless the next of kin objects to the department's within 8 hours of the stated time of death, an autopsy will be conducted on the inmate. Well, clearly this law was broken because she received calls from random people on social media. So that's what we're doing in Harris County. We just calling folks on social media and not calling officially within that 8-period time frame according to federal law. That's not happening here. So Ed Gonzalez, you're gonna have to tighten up, sir. Now I am gonna say that we do have a meeting with Ed Gonzalez on Thursday at 12 noon. Myself and other leadership here in the Houston area in reference to what is happening in this jail. So Brother Cornell is absolutely right. This is the house of death. It is, because you can check in, but you can't check out. Well, we're going to ensure that we're going to get a tightening on that. Because at the end of the day, this is unacceptable. And the law is the law, and it needs to be followed. Thank you.
State your name and who you are.
Hi, my name is Jacqueline Strain Barrett. My husband was Gregory Bernard Barrett. He was actually here for a parole violation, but he had a parole hearing for September 3rd that had been reset for September 3rd. It had been reset twice. He died in the isolation cell. They actually put him in the isolation cell after they tested him for COVID. They put him in the isolation cell. I talked to him Friday morning. He told me, he gave me the symptoms. I told him what he had. Because I work for Harris County. I've been there for 28 years. They did not know that because it wasn't on the paperwork. They found that out Saturday morning when I walked in to check on him. That's when they found out, and they were shocked. The chaplain came out. She told me she needed to talk to me. She wanted me to put my things in a locker. She took me back, followed by a deputy or two, took me to a room and told me that they found my husband unresponsive in his cell. I said he wasn't in his cell because I'm now at Baker Street, not at the new jail where he was at. She said they found him at 10-something. What happened in the time that he was put in an isolation cell at 11-something on Friday, he was not checked per the coroner. The coroner told me himself, the chief coroner, Dr. Wolf, told me that his core temperature was still high. He had a high temperature. He was not seen. From the time that he was put in that isolation cell on Friday at 11 a.m., until they found him unresponsive with a gash in his head from falling on the concrete floor in the isolation cell on Saturday morning. So what happened to those shifts that did not check him? Did he knock on the door? Did he scream for help? Did he ask the staff to help him? My thing is this. These inmates are not dogs. They deserve help. And I know y'all not helping him because when he first got here, he called and told me that he had been walking around with no socks and no shoes for 3 days. He went to court with no socks and no shoes on. He was cold. I had to call down here to the regular jail and beg another deputy to please get him some socks and some shoes and a blanket because my husband was cold and shivering on the phone. And that makes no sense. These inmates are not animals. Treat them with the same dignity that you would treat your brothers and your fathers and your sons and your kids. Don't treat them like dogs. They are not dogs. Treat them like you would treat your family. Now, this man, my little 9-year-old grandchild, he don't even want to come to the house because this man is not here.
I definitely want this brother to tell his story of what happened to him in this jail. Come over here, brother. And he does have an attorney.
How y'all doing?
What's your name, sir? How you spell it? What's your name?
My name is Tron Medis.
Spell it, boy.
My name is Tron Medis, spelled T-R-O-N. Last name Medis, M as in Mary, A-D-I-S-E. M-A-D-I-S-E, Medis. So I was attacked while in Harris County. I came to jail on a weapons charge. Just trying to protect myself because the job that I was working at, the place on side of it was robbed 3 times since I was there. But anyway, I get to the jail. I'm in for a while. But what happened, the officer must have mistaken me for somebody else, grabbed me, and I wrote him up because he twisted my arm. So when he found out I wrote him up, I got written up. And I was transferred, and the officer that I wrote up, transferred me to the murder tank, which they call the murder tank, and it was already on quarantine, so no one was even supposed to go in that cell. He forced me to go in that cell after I told him I didn't want to go in there, but he told me I had to go in there, and he made me go in. Upon being in there, I wasn't even in there long. I was attacked by 8 individuals when I went into the cell. They closed the door on me and they jumped me. They beat me. I'm screaming for help and I'm thinking I'm about to die. And they just standing there looking at me. And they broke my ribs. They broke my shoulder, my right shoulder, my right knee. They stitched my eye back in. Thank God that he was on my side to save me because I wouldn't have made it out. When they finally came in the cell to pull me out, it was because an old man, he started beating on the window and screaming for help, and then they left me and went and started attacking him. And that's what made them come in and pull them off of the old man. So I started screaming at the bars like, come get me, help me. And that's when they came pull me out, and they was laughing at me the whole time. So when I get downstairs and they bring me to see the nurses, right. When they bring me to see the nurses, they're laughing at me, and because I'm in so much pain and I'm crying, they're telling me to shut up or I'm gonna put you in a hole. So the one lady, she tell the other officer, put him in a hole. And so it was a black nurse. She heard what happened and she was like, no, y'all cannot put him in a hole. And she sit by my side until the ambulance came to make sure I got sent to Ben Taub. And I was in the emergency room, the ICU, for a couple of days in critical condition. And the only way my family found out, it was because a nurse at the jail, he snuck me a pen and paper, blocked the police from me giving him my information to contact my family. He blocked the police and slipped me a pen and a piece of paper and had me to write my current fiance's number down and my sister's number, and he called them and told them what had happened to me while I was in there. Sorry. Okay. So I had to. So upon when my family found out and they got me bonding me out, I contacted attorney Lewis, and I told her what happened. So she's now representing me, attorney Lewis from the Lewis Law Group. And but my thing is, this past year been so miserable and so depressing because I can't play with my kids like I want to. I'm still going through surgeries. I can't do my job. I'm a master barber, and I can't do my job that I grew up doing and take care of my family properly like I need to because I'm physically injured and I need so many surgeries to get well. And I just thank y'all for being here today.
We'll take any questions from you all at this point. Come back over here, Dad. Come back, Mom. Come back with a microphone. Yeah.
You found out that your son was killed via social media, is that correct?
Yes.
What was that moment like for you? And is that anything that anyone should
First of all, my daughter woke up. They could have been twins, and she had just came in there and say, "Mom, I just had a dream. Grandma died and Kevin went to jail." So I looked at her and said, "Destiny, get out of here. You know your grandma ain't dead and Kevin already in jail." Prior to my phone ringing, I opened up my phone and looked in Facebook, and the inmate that reached out to his mother to call me, my son has a trail ride group. It's 3 of them in here that's members of his group. They said, "Mama, they lying. They lying." So I say, "Who lying?" I say, "Baby, I'm finna tell you, do not talk over this phone because they being recorded. I don't want y'all in trouble or they do something to y'all. I'll get a lawyer to come visit you where you can talk." He said, "Okay, Mama." At that time, my daughters, I walked in the room, all my girls was in the room, and I said, "They just told me check on Kevin, he dead." And they was like, "Mama, no." When I called the lawyer and he said, "I'll call you right back." When I got that call back, I felt it. I'm hurt my son gone, but the hurtest part is he was in y'all custody and an outsider had to call me. Y'all don't even have the decency to even reach out to the family and let them know. At this point, this is baby right here. 2-year-old daughter. Y'all looking at her, this is exactly how my son look.
It's him. This him. This is twin right here.
This the hurting part. This baby wakes up now. She feels something. This morning she wake up, call my daddy, call my daddy. He calls her every day from jail. Every day. If he can't reach up, Mama, call my baby. So just to tell this baby she ain't got no daddy, I mean, it's hurting me. I'm his mama, but at the end of the day, she 2 years old. She don't know. When she get older, we gotta tell her your daddy died in Harris County. That's hurting. You took that from us. You took my baby. And the point to have no remarks or say nothing about it. And then what's getting me, the allegations y'all putting on the paper and saying, oh, he had an asthma attack. I know for a fact my son didn't have an asthma attack. While they was transporting line and say his body was already over here at the forensic, it wasn't. I literally got the funeral home to go get my son's body.
Next question.
I know that you guys mentioned that you're meeting with Sheriff Gonzalez on Thursday. If there's a list of changes that you would like to see to prevent the next inmate from ICE, what would these be?
We're gonna present that list to the sheriff. We're gonna release it to the public sometime this evening. But one of the first things on the list, what we want is adequate staffing in these jails. 2, we want adequate notification according to state law and according to federal law of when loved ones are to be notified and how they're to be notified. And 3, we want an outside agency to be contracted by Harris County Commissioner's Court to investigate the allegations of abuse, wrongdoing, and murder in the Harris County Jail. We cannot trust them to investigate themselves. We want an outside agency that's paid by the Commissioner's Court of Harris County to investigate all these deaths and killings and beatings in the Harris County Jail. You just had a deputy arrested yesterday and indicted yesterday. A deputy just got arrested for beating the hell out of one of these inmates. But that's not the first one in the last several months.
Okay, guys. So what you're looking at now, what you're looking at now, is the inside of Harris County jail, the restrooms. This is what they have to endure. This is the inside of Harris County Jail. The bathrooms. That's supposed to be a shower. And these are the commodes. Ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. I'm sickened. I am sickened by this. So this is what people have to endure. You understand what I'm saying? I don't care. People may say, oh, these are criminals. You know what I'm saying? They shouldn't have it easy. Well, you know what? Let the courts decide that. Let a jury of their peers decide that. You don't inflict your own judgment. You don't be the court and the jury while they're in your custody. You let them have their day in court, and let them, if it is required, or if it has been made a decision, then let them get their punishment. Let the court's punishment. You don't do that. And this is the problem. This is the culture of this particular correctional facility. You want to inflict your justice on these inmates. And this is what the officers have been doing. 32 deaths at this county jail. Nobody deserves that. Nobody deserves that. And this is the reason why I did this show, is to shine light on this particular story. Please share. I'm so sad. I'm so mad that I got the wrong thumbnail on there. I'm going to immediately change that as soon as I get off this live, so it'll be the correct picture on there. What do we do? What is the next step? What do we do as a community? What do we do as a people to stop this behavior in these jails? There is no checks and balances there. People are just doing what they want to do. Officers are just doing what they want to do in these facilities. And I'm saying enough is enough. Enough is enough. And I hope that my little platform that I got over here, someone catches it and shares, and people just begin to talk. If it's nothing but just making a post on your social media, stop the inhumane treatment at Harris County Jail. Hashtag stop the, something to bring it to people's attention. Then I have done my part. Shout out to Eating with Philly Phil, who shared this story, and I was able to see it. And there's content creators. This is something that we all, regardless of what the situation is, we all need to be getting behind and sharing and covering this story. And so this is what we're doing here at Queen to Queen, guys. I will be back Wednesday at 6 o'clock covering relationship, gender wars. We're going to be talking about that. All right. Well, we're going to pause for the cause. I got to break it. And after the break, I'm making a special announcement, guys. Making a special announcement. Okay. All right. So let's pause for the cause. And the cause is support. Check this out. Check it out.
Amazon author Clayleen Woods has a passion for children's literature. Check out her newest book, Fly at Bumblebee High. It's a story about differences and how to just get along. Meet Alexis Duncan, creator of Lexi Lou, a line of handbags that services the needs of plus-size individuals across the country. She has styles and patterns and fits to quench your handbag thirst. Check it out.
All right, guys, Lexi Lou handbags, check it out. That sister's doing her thing. You can order online. Google Lexi Lou handbags and her website will come up. And I think she got to sell this month, all month, $30. You can't beat that. And I'm telling you, them bags is off the chain. They are off the chain. All right, guys, guess what? I got a special announcement. Queen of Queen is taking on a new co-host. We got a new co-host coming on board. The queendom is expanding. Me and Queen Sheila are accepting a new queen to come and cover hot topics with us and all of the subject matters that we cover, you know, and to help promote and build women, self-esteem of women across the country, all over the world. We're super excited. We're going to try to introduce her on Wednesday's show, guys. So I'm super excited that we are expanding. She has a wonderful story, beautiful spirit, and she's going to come and just enlighten us and expand our greatness on these YouTube streets. So I'm just excited. I can't wait. I cannot wait. So you want to be a part of Wednesday's show so that you can meet her and say hello to our newest queen on the channel. Guys, I hope that this story was intriguing. I hope that this story enlightened you tonight to know that what's going on in Texas and what's going on in our correctional facilities. No individual on this planet should have to come subject to inhumane treatment. Everybody deserves their fair day in court. Everybody deserves to understand that they are innocent until proven guilty, and they don't need to be beaten along the way, you know, and or die. You know, things happen. People make infractions. People break the law. People make mistakes, or people are guilty of their crimes. But we live in America. We don't live in a third world country where someone can just be brutally beaten and killed before they even get their day in court. And so this is why I'm sharing this story. And I hope that you guys just keep it in mind and continue to pray for those who have lost their lives. We're praying for the Smith family who lost a brother and a son in that same facility. I can't even imagine what they're going through. So we send our condolences and our strength out to them. Okay, guys? So until next time, this is your queen, Clayleen, saying, be great. Bye-bye.